Episode 24 of the Third and 10 podcast is here. What's going on, guys? I'm Nate. Brian is here again to my right. And yeah, it was a very great week two of football for 31 teams in the NFL. I mean, there was great games
No,
across
well, I don't know about 31 teams in the NFL. There's a few teams that had a bad week.
30 teams.
Did the Panthers really have a good week this week? Are they really
No,
having fun?
no, actually, yeah. What was their mascot called? Sir Purr
Or
is his
per?
name. Yeah, he's probably crying and meowing because that team is bad, but there's
At
more
least you can
concern.
go back in time and watch Super Bowls we've won in our lifetime. The Panthers is just I don't know. You guys want to watch Cam Newton highlights again?
You gonna watch Super Bowl 50 highlights
Time.
again? Oh wait, never mind. They lost that one because Cam didn't die for a fumble in that game. Um, Look, we hope you guys are doing well. First off, Brian, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. There's a few things that, there's a lot of questions with sports media right now, specifically what the role of sports talk radio is. There is a role, and that is for your listen to your rivals fan base cry after losses because I've been listening 94 WIP since the end of the Eagles game last night, and let me tell you, listening to Eagles fans cry about the way they lost the Atlanta Falcons might be the highlight of my week so far. That's what Sports Talk Radio is so good for. Listening to these scumbag fans cry and boo about the Philadelphia Eagles.
It was that was a I gotta tell you,
Great game. It was a great game.
they had a chance. They had the chance.
They did. Then your history making, running back that you paid all this money to, let you down in the big spot. Oh, you hate to
You
see it.
hate to
You
see it.
hate to see it.
It's like we've gone through it before. Nah, but we'll definitely dive into that game. That was a great game though. Kirk
Oh,
Cousins
great game.
outstanding on that last drive. And yeah, we'll
Kirk
break that.
Cousins for that.
Yeah, that's
Kirk
why you
Cousins
pay
made his
him.
contract for.
Yes.
Like,
You're supposed to win those games, especially against teams like the Eagles. The Eagles are obviously one of the best teams in the NFC, and the Falcons, like 11% of people yesterday, according to ESPN, picked the Falcons to win. So 89% of people picked the Eagles to win. So, outstanding win by Atlanta. Definitely what they need to start the year. And yeah, we'll dive into all of that. And then some Irish talk as well. And then the shocking news around Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Like Brian mentioned, things continue to get worse over there. For that team, the NFC South. So we'll break that down as well. But look, we gotta obviously talk about it.
yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way. Our Giants, the New York Football Giants, played the Washington Commanders on Sunday. And look, this team needed to bounce back. They needed to shake off that week one game and be like, hey, look, we beat this team multiple times in the Commanders. Daniel Jones is great against the Commanders. Let's get it done. And the Giants were they weren't doomed from the start, but you could see the bad luck start from the jump. Graham Gano, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Chases down a kickoff, hamstring injury, out for the game. And it's like, fudge. It's like he got hurt chasing down a kickoff, and usually you shouldn't be having that. And was already questionable to play with that groin injury. Well, fudge.
Then why is there no backup kicker? That's my question. Gano is banged up. Why not put an extra kicker? If it's a wasted roster spot, it's a wasted roster spot. But then you don't have this situation that we had on Sunday.
And then there was 51 guys active on Sunday, and as you guys know, it's 52 guys that could
53.
So
hey, 2 spots open for a kicker. Put it on there just in case.
They could have had one, and Dable said no. which is fine. That's fine. Like if he believed that Gano was healthy and ready to go, so be it.
Well, I don't know about fine because it's the same thing that cost them the Jets game last year. Was
Now,
Gano being banged up and missing 2 field goals? If I'm learning from that mistake, like okay, I played an injured kicker and it didn't work. The second my kicker goes down again, I'm gonna have a backup plan ready to go this time. Like
mhm.
I don't want to put that all on Dable, but like that's where like you're not learning from your mistake. You've made this mistake already and it cost us a game. Now it's cost us another game. This is year 3. This sort of stuff can't keep happening. You
Mhm.
eventually have to learn, like, okay, this guy's down. I need a backup. I know it's a kicker. It could be wasted, but hey, let's be safe than sorry because the entirety of that game changes. All right. The Giants probably left 9 points on the field because they didn't have a field goal kicker.
Which was a blessing and a curse because we did see the Giants, go for it on a fourth down, go for 2 points, which was great. Like honestly, as me and right, when we play NCAA with our friends and whatnot, or we play Madden, we don't kick field goals. We go for it on fourth down, or we
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And it was nice to see the Giants do that. Were they forced to do it? Sort of, because Jamie Gillian could not kick an extra point to save his life. Never again, please. Um, but the Giants. Here's the thing: what it didn't bother me that Janian Daniels got his first win in the NFL. Like that young man, he's an
No,
outstanding young man. There's no
he's
hate.
got a lot of wins coming.
Yeah, he's a
Maybe once
great.
again, this will be more wins against us. Like this is
Hopefully, this is one of
astonishing.
one of few wins against
Yeah,
us. Hopefully, um, but Brian, it's just, dude. I know the Panthers have a bad. I know that, but I feel like we're worse because every single year, dude, there's always a game where we lose on a game-winning field goal, and it's like with the stupidest ways.
yeah.
The Giants made history, right, on Sunday?
I did. I was
Yeah.
aware of this.
For those of you who don't know, the Giants scored 3 touchdowns on Sunday, allowed no touchdowns to the Commanders on Sunday, and they still lost. They are the first team in NFL history to do that.
Bad. It's bad. That's on your defense for not making stops. You have, we talk about all the time. Bend, don't break defenses. Okay, force them to kick field goals. That's all fine and dandy, but eventually you have to make a stop. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers did not punt at all in this game. I
Nope.
don't. I don't care what the final result of that drive is. You have to force their team at some point to
To
not
punt the
put
ball.
points on the board. You have to do
Mm-hmm.
that
You
if
know
you
how
want to
hard.
win games.
You know how hard it is to like force a team to not punt. You know how hard that is for a defense. Like not hard, but how
A
weird it
defense
is.
with the talent the Giants have on it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of unimproving guys, but there is talented. There is a talented group of players. Many would say the defense is the strength of the Giants. Not on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Like we were so excited. Burns, Thibodeau, all that stuff. Uh,
Burns has been a pedestrian the first 2 weeks, and I
Yeah.
don't want to get on Burns too bad because it's been 2 games and he could just be adjusting and figure it out. But we paid you all this money, and if you're not going to perform and make comments in the media how we have to be better than the team, well then you're just going to open yourself for criticism because we need something. We need a big splashy play or something for you to show us why we gave you all that money to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll dive into defense in just a bit, but we gotta talk about offensively. I Like we reiterated last week, no matter how Jones played, if the Giants ended up winning this game, we would not be surprised. We'd be like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. And Jones, matter of fact, he played pretty well. Am I?
Fine.
I'm still, we're still on the
Yeah.
not impressed train, but we have to give his flowers. He went 16 of 28, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Yes. 30.
Everything to put the Giants in a position to win the game. That's all.
Mhm.
He played the game manager role perfectly.
Oh yeah, which honestly expected nothing more. Just go out there and have success against the team that he's always had success against. Also added 32 yards on the ground. And I gotta say it, Brian, dude, I don't care at this point because the schedule is already tough as it is heading for the next 5, 6 weeks. This offensive line has been absolutely phenomenal through the first two
Yeah.
games. Carmen Brasillo has been a blessing in disguise. I love that man as the offensive line coach. This offensive line only allowed one sack the entire game. Entire game. We have never seen that in so
Mm-hmm.
long. So shout out to the offensive line. We'll get to them later in the offensive breakdown. Devin Singletary. He was great. Last week sucked. This game, 16 carries, 95 yards, scored that touchdown.
Had the same stat line as Saquon Barkley.
Ah,
Only touchdown, and Saquon didn't.
and he could have scored, Saquon.
Yeah, he should have scored. Got called back with the thing. We'll get to that later. But
Yeah. Um, 4 pass catchers the entire game. Neighbors, Slayton, Robinson, and Singletary. Keep in mind those last three guys combined for 6 catches on 9 targets, and they still didn't have more than the 6th overall pick of the 2024 draft. Uh, Dude, I am so, and I know that one drop on 4th down would have won us the game and just iced everything, but in no way, and not in this universe, not the next universe, or in any single universe will I ever blame Malik Neighbors
oh god,
for
no.
losing this game. That
If you're
man,
blaming Malik, you didn't watch.
oh
That's
yeah,
that simple.
I've
If you're
seen
blaming
people
Malik, you
blame it.
didn't watch.
I've seen people blame it. It's like, come on, guys.
You didn't. All right, Neighbors is also the reason we're in that spot to begin with.
Yeah,
That 10 receptions, 127 yards, 1 touchdown. Like guy was the offense today. He did exactly what we pictured him doing the entire time.
10 catches, 127 yards, 1 touchdown, 18 targets, and I've said this before. Jones, your job is simple. Just find Malik, target him, get him the football, and good things will come. Yes, Jones only threw for 178 yards, and 127 of them were to Malik Neighbors. I don't care. You want to, try to save your job this year, as rough as it may be as of right now. Find Malik, get him the ball. That's what we saw on Sunday. That's how success happened, was giving Malik Neighbors the football. And he scored. So shout out to Malik for his first NFL touchdown. Brian, first of many to come for the former LSU product. And I'm super happy for him. He was just. I know there was a few plays as well where Jones tried to find him on the deep ball, which was great to see. He went 0 for 4 on deep balls, though, Jones did, so that was a bit disappointing. But
Happens.
other than that, those times will come where they'll click on those deep throws down the field. He's gonna be just fine. I'm super happy for Malik, and I couldn't ask for outside of that drop. That does not bother
The
me as
drop
much
was
as
the
it
only.
should.
It only got amplified because of everything else. Like if
Yeah,
the defense to make a stop on that final drive, what we're not talking about? The drop.
yeah, but because of it, it's a factor. So, matter of fact, what kind of killed this team? Actually, matter of fact, I want to go to the offensive line real quick before we go to the kind of what killed this team in a way. Andrew Thomas had one pressure, which was that sack that was allowed. But look, he's still a top 5 left tackle, no matter how you put it. John Runyon, 0 pressures. JMS, John Michael Schmitz, 2 pressures. Van Roten, 2 pressures. Germinaro Luminor, 2 pressures. So honestly, this offensive line kept him clean. Like there's no. The fact that this O-line just continues to play well this season after so many years in the past of just mediocre or just bad offensive line play, they impressed really well on Sunday, and that's what I like to see. So shout out to those 5 guys, and Thomas, Runyon, JMS, Van Roten, and Luminor. Look, the way that right side is playing, man, and Runyon too, Evan Neal sure looks like he's not going to get any playing time.
Oh yeah, he's a deadline candidate. Like he's gonna get traded this deadline for like a 6th round pick, and like you can say whatever you want about Joe Shane with the quarterback and all that. You cannot cannot discredit him about what he did the offensive line this year. All right, that what he's done has going to benefit Jones this year. The next quarterback, they've done a great job of putting the future in great hands by actually building up a roster around him. All right, say Daniel Jones balls out and he's the future quarterback. That's probably not going to happen. Let's imagine they're going to bring in, Cam Ward, Carson Beck, Shadir Sanders. Whoever comes in is going to be behind a solid offensive line, have a targeted Malik Neighbors, and a solid running game with Singletary, Gray, and Tracy. That's a pretty solid NFL roster, and you have a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson, who's a speedster. Hyatt could be a deep threat. Slayton's kind of your safety net. Set this quarterback up to succeed now. So that's what we have to look at. Joe Shane is don't look at the quarterback and Lance Barkley go. Look at everything else in the roster that's kind of going right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this team is built for the future. You have a number one star wideout. You have complementary pieces behind him at wide receiver. The running game isn't the greatest, but it'll get the job done. And you have an offensive line that so far through 2 games is looking really, really good. They look like a top 10 unit. Whether people want to believe it or not, because of how bad this team is, we can't let that, affect the offensive line because they played extremely well, like I mentioned through the first 2 games. But that's the thing, though. They played 2 great games, the O-line did, and that's been wasted because of these 2 losses. What killed this team a lot, Brian, was limited opportunities. And I don't want to say because the Giants had 7 drives, the Commanders had 8. So you would think, okay, that makes no sense. What I mean by limited opportunities was the time of possession, because the Commanders' time of possession was 37-32, and we're going to directly go to defense after this stat. So the Commanders had the ball for 37 minutes and 32 seconds of the entire game. The Giants, on the other hand, had the ball for 22 minutes and 28 seconds. Ouch.
Yeah, really, ouch.
Ouch. And the Giants, with those 7 drives, touchdown, punt, touchdown, fumble, punt, touchdown, turnover, and downs. So 2 of those drives, the fumble by Singletary, which, come on. I get it. It's just, that was frustrating to see that fumble. And then turnover and downs because of the Malik drop. That was, obviously tough. But Daniel Jones, I don't ever, and for this past week specifically, does not deserve any blame or anything like that. Could he have thrown for more yards? Yes, but come on, he barely had any time on the field. 22 minutes is a quarter and 7 minutes.
Quarter and change. Got a quarter and a half on the field.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. And we're gonna go right to the defense, because you got to be kidding me. I just
that's the loss. It's on the defense. The loss is 100% on its defense.
I'm gonna say it, and you can correct me. Those of you out there can comment and correct me and criticize me, but part of me feels this way, and I'm not afraid to say it. It's not that deep, but I'm just saying. I miss Wink.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I do. Yeah. I miss Martindale. I miss his blitzes. I thought I wouldn't, because Shane Bowen, looks like a guy that he seems nice. That doesn't matter, because this team, okay, they had 5 sacks. Okay. McFadden, Phillips, Pinnock had 2 sacks. Okereke had a sack.
Tavon had a good game. Just didn't have a sack, but he played decently.
That's the thing, though. Yeah. He needs to get to the quarterback.
Oh, no, I agree with you. 100% agree with you. I'm just saying, if you look at the next gen stats and stuff, he was at least applying pressure and actually was showing up in this game, not like last game when we barely saw him.
That's true.
There was a role for him this time around. There was slight improvement out of him, but yes, you're right. We need more, and the big word, consistency. All right, I need this week in and week out.
And that's the thing, because 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. You mentioned game pressure to the quarterback. Brian Burns, again, man, come on. We trade for you, we pay you, and there's no sacks. Barely any pressure, if not mistaken. It was pretty much just Tibbs, if anything,
Yeah.
on the edge.
Which, like, it's fun. Like, I think we both expected that, hey, there was going to be games where Kayvon Thibodeau took over and Burns didn't play well, or Burns is playing well and Kayvon doesn't, play as well. But we're expecting better stat lines. If I have a game where Kayvon is stepping up, I'm like, oh, okay, Brian Burns had 2 sacks, and Dexter Lawrence has a tackle for loss in there. Which you haven't gotten so far.
I know numbers don't mean everything. It's just the fact that there's still a 0 over Tibbs and Burns' shoulder in terms of sacks. As
Yeah.
much as I'm happy the Giants got 5 sacks, it's by what? 3 linebackers. No, 2 linebackers, your slot corner, and your safety. Do you have
Need
these
more.
guys are edge rushers for a reason, so please. And you know what? Even if they got sacks, I still wouldn't be impressed because I thought week 1 was like a fluke. Okay, they allowed Aaron Jones to go run crazy on us. That's fine. 219 yards allowed on the ground by the Giants against the Commanders. Brian Robinson, I respect greatly.
Oh, he had a great game.
Yeah, I mean, remember last year he got shot and he came out to many
Mm-hmm.
men like a week or 2 later. Like he's great. I have a ton of respect towards him. He killed us. 17 carries, 133 yards. That's fine and dandy. Jaden Daniels, though, 10 carries, 44 yards. Okay, that makes it worse. Austin Eckler, who's washed? No.
Yeah.
8 carries, 38 yards. Made an impact on the passing game as well. This first 2 weeks just shows this defense cannot stump the run. Look, we did not have any issues with Wink with this. But Shane Bowen.
We did. We had issues stopping the run game. We had some issues with Wink. Wink would let some. I'm thinking of the Jacksonville game in 2022 where ETN just ran all over us. Like, Wink wasn't the best with the run stuff. But we went out and got Bowen, and that was one of the big things we talked about. We talked about the red zone and the rushing attack, where Bowen had decent stats in both. I think he was like 13th in rushing and like one of the top in like red zone prevention, which we saw on Sunday. Like, we saw, not breaking, forcing the field goals. Great. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. The run game has been atrocious. Stopping the run game, there's been no change. It's worse than it was last year at this point.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why my brain's thinking like, oh yeah, Wink, our run defense was slightly better with Wink compared to what we've seen from Bowen so far. But
so far, yeah. Again, it's not much. That's not a good thing, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like slightly better. Okay, but at the same time, it's still not better. At least Terry McLaurin did make an impact. 6 catches, 22 yards. Deontay Banks didn't shadow him all the time, but Giants secondary did limit McLaurin's impact. So that was great to see. I will say our rookie class this year, especially our first 3 picks, have impressed a lot. Neighbors on the opposite side of the ball is great, but Tyler Nubin, 5 tackles. He looks like a mainstay on this defense. He played the entire game, didn't miss a single snap. Super proud of him. 2nd round pick, as you guys know. He looks like a mainstay on this defense. May not have an interception yet. It'll come eventually.
Interceptions are hard, guys. Like, there's a reason why they only have like 2 or 3 a season. It's not easy. Like, these guys are not programmed to catch balls. Okay, they're programmed to knock them away.
But he was great. He looks like a mainstay on this defense, and I'm super proud of him. These first 2 games has played extremely well. And Drew Phillips, however you want to say his first name, very impressive. He was all over the field. 12 tackles, had a sack, 2 tackles for loss. 7 of those tackles were solo tackles. He looks absolutely great. He did get hurt at one point, but overall played an outstanding game. For a guy that is brought in to be just a slot corner, a nickel corner, he looks great, dude. I'm
doing a lot better than just that. He's doing a lot more. And people have been criticizing Joe Shane's drafting recently, mostly centered around Kayvon and Evan Neal. you cannot criticize him for what he's done this year. This has been a home run draft class so far. I know it's only been 2 games, but there's a lot of pieces here that are going to be big, proponents of the next great Giants team comes from this
Mhm.
draft.
Yeah, and the future is bright for this team. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to see that when your team isn't winning and this Giants team is not winning so far the first 2 weeks. A couple things I want to note. Snap count wise, Jalen Hyatt had 11 snaps played. So once again, limited playing time for the former third round pick in 2023. Definitely a bit of concern, right, Brian? Because this guy,
Oh, super concerned. What's going on? Like, why is he not in the game plan? What's going on?
remember when that Dallas coach or Dallas scout was talking to Hyatt at the combine or whatever, and he was like, "You have one skill set, and that's your speed." I ain't gonna lie, he may not be wrong because
No,
he hasn't done much. He hasn't done anything at all. No catches, no
no.
targets, nothing. And it's like, yes, Slayton's there. I get it, but you
But you
drafted
should
Hyatt.
be. You're talented. You would think you're talented enough being a third round pick be better than Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton is a very average wide receiver at best. All right, I think we've said it many times in this show. He's only receiver number 1 because of how bad the Giants are,
Mm-hmm.
not because of anything he does.
Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know, Hyatt gets more playing time. We know last week that Dable said that they have specific packages for Hyatt or something like that. And well, we didn't see any of that because only 11 snaps is not a lot.
Then clearly it's not a big portfolio place. Clearly
Yeah,
it's like 6.
yeah, it's like 1 or 2 plays, or one or
Mm-hmm.
two packages. I don't know. Running back wise, Singletary 41 snaps, Tyrone Tracy 10 snaps, Eric Gray 0 snaps. So Theo Johnson 40 snaps, Chris Manhertz 23 sacks. Oh, whoa, what the hell? Theo Johnson 40 snaps, not sacks. Chris Manhertz 23 snaps, and Daniel Bellinger had 3 snaps. So limited playing time for Bellinger. That one was weird to me too, but Manhertz is a better blocker, so maybe that's kind of why. Defensively, Cordell Flott, 58 snaps. Isaiah Simmons, 14 snaps. Adoree Jackson, 12 snaps. So limited playing time for Jackson after playing a lot the week before. 3 Giants defenders played 100% of the snaps for the second straight week. Tyler Nubin, Deontay Banks, and Bobby Okereke. Yeah, Giants were 3 for 3 in the red zone. Commanders were 0 for 6. Giants faced 8 third downs. Commanders faced 13 third downs. EPA per play, Daniel Jones was in the 75th percentile of quarterbacks this week. Daniels was 69th percentile. Giants scored 3 touchdowns. The Commanders scored 0. And they still lost the game. Fudge. Some positives. Malik Neighbors was targeted 18 times across 26 routes run, which is a 69.2 target rate percentage. This is the highest target rate by any receiver who ran for at least 15 routes in the game in the next gen era since 2016. And finally,
That's great, but
yeah, still
it's great because you're getting the ball, but there's gonna be a moment where teams are like, all right, just put everything on Neighbors and just don't let Neighbors get the ball. Then you're gonna force Robinson, Slayton, and Hyatt get in the game, which I like. I trust so far. He's done fine. Slayton's a security blanket, but they're not gonna have the same impact that Neighbors had on Sunday.
No, sir. And like you just said, it's all fine and dandy. But here's the thing: NFL teams have gone 1,132-0 when scoring three more touchdowns than their opponent until Sunday. The Giants ended that streak when they lost, so now that record is 1,132-1. So, yeah, tough loss. Not as emotional as last week, Brian. We
No.
are, but it still hurts. And
Mm-hmm.
as much as we only lost by 3. Every single year, we always lose by some weird field goal or some weird history we end up losing by. And this is another one of those games. I have a quick video to show, though. Very notable one. A reporter asked Brian Dale about his future with the Giants after the loss on Sunday. Let's see it.
Brian, are you concerned about your job if the results don't change here?
Yeah, I mean, I've done this for a long time, Pat. You know, my focus is on our football team.
James, do you think
That death stare, oh, I'd be
Yeah.
embarrassed. Look, I love Dable, I do. Like, you will never see me call for his firing. I mean, I know it's been a while ago, Brian, but what he did in year one was absolutely great. Like, that was refreshing to see this Giants team win under him.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was terrible, injuries, whatever you wanted to call it. Yes, he had the whole kicker mishap last year. He had the kicker mishap this year. But first off, you don't ever ask a coach about their future after 2 games, really.
Not to in
Second,
general, because you're not going to get a good answer from them.
mhm,
Like, they're not going to say, like, yeah, I'm concerned. Like, oh, that's going to be a red flag. It's going to be a generic, like, I'm just focused on this game, or like, no, I'm not. So it's just a bad question to ask in general.
it's just the wrong time to ask it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, look, in no way am I gonna call for his job ever. I love him. He just deserves to have his guy.
Mm-hmm.
He
I'm
doesn't.
not going to call for his head until he has that guy. Now, let's say he gets Carson back. Hypothetical. Get Carson back, and then 2 seasons from now, it's the same problem. Then yeah, okay, let's look at coaching at that point. But when you're just kind of giving Daniel Jones and it's just arranged marriage and you have to make it work and you're kind of forced to make it work, I kind of step back for a sec. I'm like, all right, let's give you your guy. This might not be your fault. Let's give you who you handpicked to be your quarterback.
Same thing with Joe Shane. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how many people say, "Oh, well, he could have got a quarterback. He could trade it up." He tried. We literally saw him try on Hard Knocks to get Drake May jump up to 3 to get Drake May. He could not. And he could have got Jay Daniels. No, he could not, because he would have to trade up to 2, and you had to get the whole future. This isn't draft day, man. This isn't the movie.
Doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that. Okay, so
well, yeah, if he trades up for Jane Daniels and Drake May, great. Now those guys are like have to be guaranteed jacket Hall of Famers, or fired next year. Joe Shane.
Yeah, and those guys need to grow, to develop. Can the Giants have that patience? Well, I don't know.
In New York, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Especially when it's been a decade of losing. Like, the fans are sick of it. They just want to win. Are you saying, like, all right, we got to wait longer for a quarterback now? It's like, oh, come on, guys. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. And, of course, like you mentioned, Brian, at the beginning when we started, right? The whole Graham Gano situation, we should have elevated a kicker. Knowing Gano was hurt just to be safe. We could have promoted Jade, whatever, just McNamara.
Yeah, wherever the guy in the practice squad, the worst string, the backup is. Bring him on.
Exactly. Just to be safe. But
yeah,
they didn't do that.
What's the worst that can happen? Oh no, we the backup kicker sit on the bench. All right. Nobody.
No one cares.
53rd man on the roster didn't make a play. Okay, I can name you 6 guys who didn't do anything on Sunday.
But yeah, just a tough loss for us. Yeah, I think you lose to Minnesota, you lose a game you're supposed to win against the Commanders, Brian. It's hard to see a win in the next 5 or 6 weeks. So we might be sitting here for the next
8. So we're on first overall pick watch, unfortunately, again. Yeah. And that's quarterback.
Yeah. And it sucks.
Who? We don't know yet.
Yeah, it sucks because look, me and you, we started this. We've said it multiple times. We started this last year, around the midseason part of the year, and it's like, okay, like I knew that heading into this year, in our first full year together, that look, we might have success. No, it's like, are we ever going to have success hosting this show together in terms of this Giants team? I don't know.
I'm just hoping we have success, period, because the way it's been, I just kind of look like flashes and then back to just miserable. 6-10 kind of guaranteed seasons over and over again. No real hope that things are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of want to see some sign from this team, and I just haven't seen it. I've seen glimpses, like Malik Neighbors. That's a glimpse for future. The good offensive line, okay. Banks and Phillips and Newbin have been playing great. Could that be like a Legion of Boom type? I don't want to put that on them yet, but they could be a dominant secondary group going forward. Like, there is pieces, but I just need to see a cohesion. I don't need to see groups anymore. I need to see, okay, this Giants roster is playing well. Not the Giants secondary is playing well. The Giants O-line is playing well. This is playing well. This is playing well. No, I need the whole team to play well.
Yeah. Next, 5 opponents: Browns, Cowboys, Seahawks, Bengals, and the Eagles. So, yeah, 0-7. Winnable games.
Against the Browns. About it.
Yeah, you're not beating Dallas.
No.
Seattle.
Well, I don't know. If Evan Singletary goes off like Alvin Kamara did, they could beat Dallas.
A man can pray, buddy. A man can pray.
Yeah, no. But they probably lose to Dallas, probably lose to Philly. Seattle's definitely a loss. It's in Seattle, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, they're screwed.
Yeah, 12th man. Oh, kidding.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. So proud of Malik. Proud of Andrew Phillips in this game. Other than that, 0-2, man. So we'll see if the Giants.
0-2. Another season looking down a long, long season. Just start caring about college. Just watch the quarterbacks. Imagine.
Time to
watch Georgia.
Do some scouting. We gotta break down that one later on when we talk college football. All right. Week 2 takeaways. By the way, this is not soda, I promise. It's just water.
It'd be bad if it was soda.
Nah. Week 2
Soda's
takeaways. Oh yeah, of course. Root beer is my favorite. How about yours?
Right, I guess. I don't really drink soda as much as I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just me.
Kind of grew out of it.
Am I a kid, Brian?
Like No, you're not that. I'm just saying, like around middle school, I just kind of stopped drinking soda and just went to like water and stuff. I don't know why. I just kind of. I'm good. And,
healthy man.
I don't know about healthy. Like, I have a nice rum and coke now and then, but.
Well, there's a lot of games that were played in week 2, Brian. Was there any games or any takeaways you got from week 2, by any chance?
Minnesota might be a better team than we're all expecting them to be. Like, that defense, Brian Flores has put on 2 really good game plans back-to-back weeks. And I know one of them was against a really bad Daniel Jones, and one of them was up the 49ers without Christian McCaffrey. But still, there's enough talent on that Niners offense, so they should be able to withstand losing a player like McCaffrey and still play pretty well. And Minnesota, hats off to them because, I know Lions kind of own that division, but with Malik Willis playing quarterback for the Packers, there is an opening for them. And, the Bears looking lost and just kind of focusing on Caleb Williams' development. The Vikings have a shot at a playoff spot, which, who would have said that going into this year with Sam Darnold as your quarterback?
No one did, but the team around Darnold is pretty good. The offensive line is good enough. Aaron Jones seems to be just like he was in Green Bay.
Good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough to win games. Defense, you just mentioned, was great, and then they have the best receiver in the game, in Justin Jefferson, who burned that Niners secondary for a 97-yard touchdown. So that was good to see by them. I'll take a game I do want to mention for that same game as well before we get the rest of the takeaways from you. Look, I in no way am I blaming Brock Purdy whatsoever.
No.
But hey, my question has always been, if he doesn't have the pieces he had around him, can he succeed? Well, no CMC. Yes, you won last week against the Jets. Congratulations.
But that's the Jets. Like,
But that's the Jets. This is the Vikings.
it took Will Levis making the worst play in NFL history for the Jets to beat the Titans the other day.
Yeah. Like and you know, I'm sure the Jets are gonna, turn it up. However, my question has always been, can Purdue win if injuries happen to other players? Yeah, it is out of his control. Like, injuries are out of his control, but can he perform when he doesn't have that all-star group around him in CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Trent Williams, and friends?
That
CMC
next level.
Mm-hmm.
Can he go to that next level with just the quarterback? Like, Peyton Manning could, like, no matter who he had on the field, all right, Peyton Manning would have a shot to win this game. Can he be that guy?
Mm-hmm. And he hasn't had CMC. Debo got hurt against the Vikings. Ayuk hasn't looked. He looks like an overpaid receiver. Not surprised, to be honest, because that's what happens to players who get paid. They either get injured or they just suck. And Ayuk has done that. Kittle had a great game, but he got hurt too. I'm just saying, this Niners team has a lot more question marks than we thought. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm right. That's not who I am. I love talking about the game of the football. But I did have concerns. If he doesn't have his all-star group around him, can he perform? And honestly, he looks mediocre.
Yeah.
I'm just
like a seventh round pick.
Not exactly, because statistically, numbers wise, he doesn't look like that. But
yeah,
I mean,
but he's not getting it. He's being that game manager that's been elevated to what people think he's a really good quarterback. No, he's just a better version of Kirk Cousins. And no disrespect to Kirk Cousins, but a better version of that with a lot better weapons around him. Mm-hmm. Like, if you put prime Kirk Cousins on the Niners right now, the Niners have a dynasty. It's probably them and the Chiefs every year in the Super Bowl against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Kirk Cousins is like the standard of like what a game manager should do. Like, he doesn't do anything flashy. Nothing is going to make you go crazy. He's still a really just good, solid quarterback.
Yeah, Niners fans should look at Sam Darnold and be like, oh, he has Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones, and that's it. The average Niners fan would do that if the Niners fan that's more into it's like, oh, well, they have Addison and they have and a good offensive line. Okay, well, who would the Niners have? Like I just said, CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, the great offensive line led by Trent Williams.
They've top 5 people in like every position. Mm-hmm. Like, CMC is probably the best running back in the league. Ayuk and Debo are probably top 20 receivers, you would say. Mm-hmm. Kittle is a top 3 tight end when healthy. The line is solid. Not much weakness going on there.
So Debo's out multiple weeks. CMC, we don't even know when he's coming back. We do know he's not going to play the next 4 games because he was on IR, put on the IR. Is Ayuk going to step up? Like, he doesn't look.
He has to. He has to step up.
Mm-hmm. But he hasn't. And it's like, what is going on? That is like a major question mark. In Kittle, I think he's okay. I just know he got hurt. I don't know exactly.
He got carted off. I know that. I didn't really look into it past that point, but he got carted off.
Yeah. So yeah, Debo has a calf strain. He'll be out for multiple weeks. McCaffrey injury reserve with the Achilles tendonitis. And then you just mentioned George Kittle, who there's no report saying he'll miss multiple weeks. But as of right now, there is no
reports saying he's fine.
Nah, there's no reports whatsoever. So we'll see later in the week when we have our second episode. and we'll see about Kittle. But as of right now, okay, no, see, he's fine. Sorry, my apologies to you listeners and viewers. He is fine. He just had cramps, got an IV on Sunday.
He's
He
getting
is
carted
fine.
off for cramps.
Oh my God, come on, Kittle. I'm kidding. We love you, Kittle. I love you. I love you, Kittle. But yeah, Kittle and Ayuk will be major focal points for this Niners offense in these next
Fancy
few
owners,
weeks.
watch out.
I will say, Brian, fantasy has been complete crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just this season, it happens every year. Injuries happen every year, but this season feels like the worst injury-riddled fantasy
A
season.
lot of the stars are getting hurt.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. And I have a list of players that let me take a look actually of guys notable injuries per se. All right, ready. Puka, IR. He was a first round fantasy pick. CMC, IR. Isaiah Pacheco, fractured leg. He'll be out multiple weeks, 6 to 8, I think.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that Chiefs team, they barely beat the Bengals. Mahomes.
They barely beat the Ravens too. Like they win, but 2 hard-fought wins.
Easily could be 0-2.
Yep.
Tua, concussion.
Thanks to DeMar Hamlin of all people. Like, what are the odds? DeMar Hamlin's chest gave Tua a concussion.
I think it was his arm. Am I wrong?
I don't know where. What I saw, like he went into his chest. I'm like, oh god,
Okay.
do not let those two like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters.
Not to make a funny joke, but someone said that DeMar has a 1-to-1 kill death
I did
ratio.
see that, yeah. I did see that.
People are dirty, man.
Like, oh god, come on. Let's have.
Justin Jefferson knee, Cooper Kupp ankle injury, Jordan Love knee injury, Jordan Addison ankle injury, David Njoku ankle injury, Kenneth Walker's week to week, Raheem Mostert chest injury, T. Higgins hamstring, Jake Ferguson knee, Keenan Allen heel injury, didn't play Sunday night. Thanks a lot, because my fantasy team that I have in another league, I had him starting, and then Evan Ingram hamstring. Yeah.
Oh no, Evan Ingram.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson, by the way, sorry, quad contusion. My apologies, but
okay, so that's like sit out a couple weeks of practice.
yeah.
Ready to go on Sunday. His quad is bruised.
Yeah.
That's what happened. You ever had a bruised quad? It hurts.
It hurts. But yeah. And yeah, any other takeaways, Brian, from week 2? I'm sure you have a few others.
Rookie quarterback, not rookie quarterbacks, but young quarterbacks not being ready, like Caleb Williams, Anthony Richardson, most likely. Like, we're all expecting these great hype things, and I was all on Caleb before this was going to start. Like, he's very emotional. Watch out. Like, it's not going to be a transition that one thinks it is. We saw it Sunday night. I don't think he played horrific, but he definitely was, definitely struggling, especially in that second half. And Anthony Richardson was expected to take this massive jump forward. I really think we're rushing him, guys. Like, Anthony Richardson was not a great quarterback in college. Like, he's a very good physical guy for a quarterback. He's got the build, he's got the arm, he's got all that. But when you actually look at his numbers and watch his film, he's not great. Like, he's not a guy that could just transition to be a week 1 starter, right? He needed that time to sit and develop. Now, he got hurt last year and kind of got that then. So expect the growing pain. So I think we all need to, not call him a bust by any sense, but just slow down and be like, hey, this was always going to be a project guy. We just rushed him really fast. Now we're just kind of have to take it slow with him. And same thing with Bo Nix. Like, Bo Nix has really looked bad so far. Like, really bad. But situation of a guy that did not play great in college and probably needed a year or 2 on the bench to learn and be up to speed for an NFL offense. He can't just go week 1 and just go. I don't care what Sean Payne says about him. I don't care how many comparisons he has to Drew Brees. He's not Drew Brees.
I do wanted to add on to that, but I'll wait until the next segment when we talk about that other young quarterback in the NFC
Quarterback.
South. Yeah,
The big story of
a
the
big
week, I would say.
story. But you're 100% right. Like I think these days we want things to happen right away that we're not
CJ
patient.
Stroud. Everyone wants CJ Stroud to be
Yeah,
their quarterback.
like the people saw Stroud and it's like that's what I want. That's what I believe. You mentioned a Bo Nix, a Caleb Williams, an Anthony Richardson, a Jaden Daniels to an extent. You want that, and unfortunately, that happens once in a blue moon because we didn't expect Stroud to play that well last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many people, including myself, had Stroud as a bust. Like
Oh,
Stroud was an Ohio State guy. Like that's not a
yeah.
great track record. He's probably not going to transit to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're wrong. I'll admit I was wrong.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we just you have to be patient. You have to let guys develop, and unfortunately, you can't always get a CJ Stroud. You just have to be patient and wait and hope for the best. That there's going to be a time where that young quarterback does perform to your expectations, and when that time comes, you'll be ready for it. That you just have to wait for that moment to come.
The
But yeah,
growing pains. It's
exactly.
kind of like when you're like on your first day of a job, you don't know everything, so you're being trained.
Mm-hmm.
And about like after like I would say a few weeks to maybe a month, you get comfortable and you can you don't need a helping hand anymore. You're kind of like, okay, I can do this on my own. Similar thing for a quarterback. When they first get in there, it's like, all right, they're still learning. There's growing pains. Then once they get comfortable, you'll see the talent you saw at college or high school that you're expecting to come to the NFL.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll get into the young quarterback talk in just a bit. Any other takeaways, Brian, by any chance, from week 2?
I think people are severely underestimating the Bengals. Like, this is a really good Bengals team, and they're gonna be fine. Like, I know they lost to the Chiefs, but they played a really hard-fought game against the Chiefs, and they're fine. Like, I know they're 0-2, but this is a team that could still very well be the first seed in the AFC East, in the AFC, if the Chiefs kind of struggle here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hopefully T. Higgins comes back healthy for the Bengals. But they played a close game against Kansas City. They always play close games. It came down to a game-winning field goal once again by Harrison Butker for Kansas City to win.
Yeah, took a miracle with another bad penalty. Like, what's the Bengals to make all these bad penalties? Stop making bad penalties against the Chiefs and win some ball games.
Or maybe it's the refs and the Chiefs working together.
Ooh, get a tinfoil. Get a tinfoil out, guys, for making hats. Hat time, people.
They showed Taylor Swift a good amount of times during that game. I'm just like. By the way, Travis Kelce.
Her boyfriend didn't do anything.
Really? Yeah, that's what you just beat me to it. Really, Kelce? Come on, really? One catch, dude, for like what? What? I drafted that guy. In all my league, I literally have Kelce. Bro.
I traded for him in a dynasty league I'm in. I'm like, yeah, Kelce's got a few seasons left. Oh, It's really bad so far.
Yeah, like maybe the whole like Swift thing would like motivate him to show like, hey, I still got it.
I was seeing someone like Taylor Swift like, yeah, let's go. I'm gonna be the best.
Yeah, like she can do really well at her concerts. I'm gonna do well on my job. No, so Titans Jets, another notable game. The Jets won, but
Will Levis is another young quarterback that's struggling. I mean, Will Levis is just bad.
Yeah,
he's just bad.
So far, I'm wrong, man. I believe in them.
I know you cost me some money. I'm like looking at I was just staring at the future half, and I'm like, this is gone. This money is gone right now.
What was the bet, if you don't mind me asking?
It was $5, so like 60 on the Titans winning more than 6.5 games this year.
There's still a chance.
There's still a chance. It's still early, but it's like, oh my God, if Will Levis plays 17 games, they might not win 3 games. Like, the Giants might lose out because Will Levis, what was he thinking?
Yeah, it's the same thing as week 1. Why is he,
What is this?
What is this?
You're not a shortstop.
You're not Mahomes.
I know Mahomes credits being shortstop, but like Mahomes is a once in a generation athlete. You're from Middlebury, Connecticut. Calm down.
He went to Kentucky. Okay, you were a second round pick for a reason. Let's
Like Patrick Mahomes played in like the Big 12. Like back when the Big 12 was just like, let's just throw the ball downfield and just see what happens.
Yeah.
There was no defense we speak of in that
None.
league.
Great example of that game. Remember when Mahomes played Mayfield? It was Oklahoma
Yes,
versus
exactly.
Dude, that game was crazy.
That was a great game, but the worst part is that was just a typical Big 12 game back then. Like, okay, it was a little elevated with like the point stuff. Like every game was like, 50-40. Like
Yeah.
the over under in the Arizona Kansas State game was 61.5. Like they were expecting some scoring.
Yeah, points are supposed to be on the board when it comes to the Big 12, apparently. So, but yeah,
not so much anymore with like realignment and stuff like that. But like, let's hope there's some sort of like, let's hope Texas Tech just continues to it's like F it. Let's just go with the air raid still.
But yeah, Levis definitely needs to just relax and chill and not make crazy plays because so far it hasn't worked out for him. And there's weapons in Tennessee with Ridley, who has emerged as the number one guy. Hopkins kind of looks quote unquote washed, but he is barely coming back from injury, so we'll see.
I was gonna say he's battling some knee injuries. Like wash is a strong word.
Yeah, that's why I was like quote unquote washed. Statistically, he looks washed, but we'll see if he can bounce back. Tyler Boyd is there too. Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears, two capable guys in that backfield. So Tennessee 0-2, but they can easily go 2-2 the next 2 weeks as they face the Packers and Dolphins, respectively, who should have Malik Willis.
Well, Malik Willis revenge game.
Yeah. Which, by the way, didn't look too bad against Indianapolis. Great play calling. Great play calling by Matt LaFleur.
But like, are you surprised? Like LaFleur, I think he's kind of I think he's reminding people like, hey, I was like the next offensive guru before everything went downhill.
Like he's a great coach, and he made Malik look really good. Did you hear about that one play why Malik didn't throw the football on third down?
Yes, the center.
That's disgusting. I saw that.
I would just call timeout. Be like, he threw up on the ball. What do you? No, we're stopping play for a second. My man is throwing up.
Imagine, like, I feel like when Malik got the snap, he looked at it and I was like, why is there brown stuff? I was like, oh, and he just like, oh shit, I ain't throwing this. Just takes off to the right. I'm just that was
just... You hear the ref went to look on the floor after. You hear what he said to him? He goes, the ref goes, hey, if that happens again, you want us to stop the play? And LaFleur goes, yeah, I would appreciate that. I appreciate you to stop the play. Or something along those lines of, yes, idiot, stop the play. If my player is throwing up on the football.
Just a courtesy, like, my guy is not feeling so well, look, courtesy.
If it happens, if the Colts center does it too, stop it for them too, okay? I'm fine stopping the game if we're throwing up on the equipment.
Oh, that was disgusting to see, but, overall Packers.
15 times and laughed, with just all the context around it. I'm like, this is disgusting, but it's also so funny. They're just like, keep going, I guess. Just go, guys.
That my starting quarterback made the decision to not throw the ball and just run it himself because the center threw up on the football.
What if it slips? Yeah, but could you just imagine the interception? He catches the ball like, oh my god!
It's like, ew, why is this brown stuff on there? Just fumbles and fumble, and then it's just a whole mess for the ball.
Same play in football history.
What was it for, like a tush push, and like those guys, like the throw up was like in the middle because the center threw up like in the middle of the field. What if like it was a tush push and it's
puke?
Oh my god!
No one gets down on the ground. No one on the ground.
And then one more game. I know I'm gonna let you just take this one. Monday night, Falcons with a clutch 22-21 win over the Philadelphia Eagles. It came down to a fourth down play. Saquon Barkley was thrown the ball by Jalen Hurts, and deja vu. Barkley just
butter fingers is all I'm going to say. Butter fingers for Mr. Barkley on that play. You could have sealed the game, and in your home debut, instead of being this hero, you are the villain. You're the reason the Eagles lost that game. And there's more reasons to that. Like, the defense got to make a stop when you got Kirk Cousins going down the field. Like, Kirk Cousins, all-time, if you want to teach a kid how to lead a game-winning drive, show him that one. Kirk Cousins in a hostile Eagles environment. Like, that was a loud crowd last night. Like, you heard it when C.J. Gardner-Johnson stuffed him for the stop on fourth down, and he ran down the field with his helmet off, and that dork Sirianni was running after him as well. Like, that crowd erupted. So the fact that Cousins almost made it seem effortless going down the field, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss for every Eagles hater watching. Like, we just loved every second of that play. And then the interception at the so good. I'm listening to those scumbag fans boo their team because they're so disappointed. Oh my God. I almost started crying last night. I'm like, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. Okay. This is what football's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, Jesse Bates with that game clinching interception for the Falcons. And yes, the Eagles didn't have AJ Brown, but they still moved the ball pretty decently with Saquon and Devontae Smith and friends. But
Jason Kelsey in the booth with Aikman and Buck.
Yeah, that was nice to see.
I didn't like he was openly rooting for the Eagles, but like I think if he actually had like a job like that, I think we would see him more neutral.
Yeah,
I think we'd see him like he's just rooting because like he's supposed to be like that character right now.
Yeah,
he's not just actually calling the game.
Mm-hmm. Like he's just that guy on the side, an analyst, of course. He's obviously an intelligent human being. But when you're, I don't blame him at all because it's his former team at home on a primetime stage. Like honestly, it was funny to see him, as much as it was hard for him to show it or to not show it, rooting for the Eagles.
He was rooting. He was like cheering when they scored a touch. I was like, "Yeah, there you go." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you lost it, bud. You're no longer an independent."
When they were talking about the center, Cam Jurgens, he has so much enthusiasm when he was talking about that too. So it's heartwarming to see. I know he misses playing for sure. A lot.
And it was very cool to see him like talk about the tush push. So I'm like, all right, that's the guy who's like, we put a lot of its success. A lot of guys, including myself, are like, this play's not going to work without Kelsey anymore. So it's cool seeing his perspective of what's going on with that play.
Yeah,
like anyone can stop it. I think it's him. I think if I'm a defensive coordinator, I would call out Jason Kelsey like, hey, now you're retired. Like, what do we do to stop this thing?
Yeah. So, but yeah, overall, I know you had a great time watching the end of that game between Atlanta and Philadelphia. So yeah, shout out to the Falcons for a clutch drive.
Falcons, shout out Kirk Cousins. What a way to earn yourself.
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of teams, a lot of guys were like out on them because they lost the game to the Steelers. That is a statement win that you rebounded against what many people are considering one of the best teams in the NFC. You're still in this playoff race, bud. You deserve a spot in this playoff race right now.
Mm-hmm. That's why you get paid the big bucks for as a quarterback. And Kirk Cousins got the job done. Drake London with the game-winning catch. And then, yeah. Okay. A couple more things. We'll start with the young quarterback in Carolina. Big story happened yesterday. Out on Monday, when coaches get interviewed the day after the game, they're asked about, the performance. And Dave Canales, the new head coach for the Panthers, was asked about Bryce Young. And he gave Young basically reassurance that he will be the starter, that they still believe in him and everything like that. No, sorry. He was asked this on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Then he watched the film on Monday and came out and said, we have benched Bryce Young for Andy Dalton. You mentioned young quarterbacks earlier, and that was actually, I'm glad that you did, because this man, Bryce Young, was the first overall pick from the University of Alabama. 18 games played, Brian. He's been in 3 different offenses in 2 years. Last year was his rookie season. It's been 2 years. No, not even that. He's entering his 2nd season. And yet, he's being benched. He's gone through 3 different offenses. He's still learning. And I get it. He's 2-16 as a starter. He's thrown for 3,100 yards so far. He's had 11 touchdowns and 13 interceptions so far in his career. He's had 0 touchdowns, 3 picks in 2 games, 245 total yards. I think I'll let you go first. It's just, isn't this is sad, dude. And I just, yeah.
We've seen this before. Like, I brought up a few times. I'm still kind of playing with the article idea of the shell-shocked quarterback. Like, the quarterback that's in such a bad situation, they lose all confidence and just look lost out there. And we've seen it with Daniel Jones. I blame a lot of Mac Jones' problems on that as well. And I think it's fair enough to say that that's a lot of Bryce Young's problems as well. Like, I'm not saying Bryce Young, if he goes to Houston, is going to be as good as CJ Stroud is. No, obviously not. CJ Stroud was special, all right? And would CJ Stroud be the quarterback he is in Carolina? Obviously not. But when you have all these different coaching, it's hard to blame the quarterback when it's like, okay, you're at such a stable position in Alabama with Saban. And I know the offensive coordinator changed a few times, but you're still at, the pinnacle of college football. There is stability. There is a culture. Go to a team like Carolina, who has the worst owner in football, who's gone through multiple regime changes in a very short period of time. No wonder he's struggling, because he's going from the top to the complete polar opposite. And this is a guy who had a lot of, I want to say problems, but he had flaws. Like, he was the first overall pick because he's a quarterback. But, if you put him in the 2018 draft or the 2020 draft, he's probably the 4th quarterback taken off the board. I'm trying to think just a couple years ago with, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. Like, where's he taken? I probably taken 5th.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is a guy that kind of needed the perfect situation to thrive. It's been anything but it. So it's really sad, and it's just a complete blow to your confidence right now that I don't think he can ever recover from. Like, I think we've seen the last of Bryce Young in Carolina, and we could see, like, potentially the last of Bryce Young being an effective starter in the NFL, of how bad they've treated him.
Yeah. It's just, they killed his confidence. And it's not the fact that he lost the locker room. His teammates support him and everything. I was reading an article about it. Like, there's no dislike towards Bryce Young.
No.
He's done nothing wrong off the field. It's just on the field he hasn't performed. Because first 2 games they've lost by 60 points combined. He's never scored, and he's never looked comfortable in this offense. And
no.
The thing is that I was excited for Canales, the head coach, because he's worked with Mayfield, Geno Smith, and Russell Wilson in the past, and he's looked great developing them, right? Or rejuvenate their careers per se. So that's why I'm like, okay, Canales and Bryce Young, okay, things could work out. But it's clear that when you benched Young, when you announced that, not only did you just kill his confidence, but you just sent a negative signal to the locker room where it's like, okay,
we're blaming all of your struggles on this quarterback. It's his fault we're losing. Andy Dalton gives us the best chance to win.
And does he?
No.
Nice.
No, because no matter who's back there at quarterback, the Panthers are still going to have one of the worst records in the league. So why not just try to ride it out with Bryce Young and fix it, on the field, rather than him sit on the bench and kill confidence?
Like, as bad as the Giants are, there's something to look forward to. In terms of, you have weapons, actual weapons on the Giants. Malik Neighbors is one of them.
You're seeing this, a core is developing on the Giants. We could be like, okay, we're not good now, but in 3 years, if we have Neighbors, Nguyen, Phillips, Banks, Avon, Burns, they they all play to what we think they can play, this is going to be a really good Giants team.
Mm-hmm. There's something to look forward to offensively and defensively, but mostly offensively in this particular topic with Malik, and that young offensive line that's developing and continue to look
Yeah.
good.
Even like
That's something.
Robinson can
Yeah,
give you like hope. Like, okay, this is a solid. Like, I can
yeah,
see it's gonna be a great slot guy. Like deep balls. Like we have. There's something here. There's a
yeah.
blueprint being laid out, and I can see the vision. I see where we're going.
It's just frustrating to watch as
Lineup.
a Giants fan.
It's exactly. It's like, oh my god. Like, can we just fast forward? It's actually it's like when you're playing NCAA.
Yeah,
You take over a team in the first season. You're like, none of these guys are my guys. So you're just kind of like simming and trying to get to the point where, like, all right, these are my recruits.
yeah,
That's what we're going through right now with the Giants. We're like,
yeah.
just need the rest of this team, and we can't sim. We have to just sit and watch it.
Yeah.
If you're in Carolina, what future do you have to look forward to?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
There's nothing there.
There's nothing. There's no talent to really speak of. You know, the front office leaves a lot to be desired because you have a terrible owner, you know, a GM who botched the Brian Burns situation so badly to the point where at one point they could have gotten 2 first-round picks for the guy and settled for a second and a fifth. You made the worst trade in NFL history, trading away DJ Moore, multiple first-round picks, and second-round picks for a seeming bust in Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
Head coaching that's kind of been a circus act the past few years. Like, you need someone to almost come in and just fire everybody and just completely start over from the ground up. Be like, all right, new owner, new GM, new coach, new offense, new defense, new all of it.
Yeah. And the CMC trade.
Yeah, CMC trade, another you almost forget CMC was after because of everything he's done with the Niners. But yeah, the CMC trade and it was never CMC was never going to be the player he is in San Francisco on Carolina, but it is another sign of okay, this was our identity, our face of the franchise, and he's gone for nothing.
Mm-hmm. And to Carolina's situation, there's literally no one. Deontay Johnson is the best weapon they have, and he's looked like crap. And maybe it's not his fault, but the focus is on Bryce Young, obviously, and I get that benching him would ruin his confidence and send a negative signal to that locker room, but also not benching him kind of decrease the chances of winning games if you kept him as a starter was low. And I guess Canales was like, okay, I'd rather just sort of just kind of get that. He would take that negativity from the locker room in a way, but also make the decision knowing this is for best for the team. But you just said it earlier with Andy Dalton. Okay, yes, that's gonna make a difference. Look, Dalton has a 50.9% winning percentage in his career. Shockingly, I don't know how, but that's how.
Because he's on all those really good Cincinnati teams before Burrow.
Yeah,
that's what it was. He just was a decent roster around him, and Marvin Lewis was a good enough coach to win regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Lewis is kind of like the Brian Kelly of the NFL. Just really good regular season guy, just fumbled in the big spots.
Yeah,
which is what the Bengals did.
Dalton has started 30 games for 4 teams after he lost his job in 2019. Mm-hmm. He's not going to make things worse, but he's not going to make it better.
Make it better.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's the thing. The Panthers could always go back to Bryce Young. They can always go. This is the key word is they can always go back to him and let him reset and try to have a rebirth of sorts. But if you're Bryce Young, waking up today, having a day to process everything, you're thinking like, okay, these guys kind of just gave up on me like this. There's no way you fix his confidence. Like, I don't care when you put him back in. You shot his confidence already. He's played for 3 coaches, Frank Reich, Chris Tabor, don't know who that Tabor guy is, and barely 2 games with Canales. There's no
And when you put
patience.
Young back in, he's going to be looking over his shoulder the entire. Every mistake is going to be
Yeah,
amplified. It's like,
yeah,
oh my god, I threw a pick. Am I going back to the bench now?
yeah.
Every time he makes them, it could be as simple if his receiver dropped the ball, but it's gonna be like, did I throw the ball in the right spot? Is that gonna look bad on tape? Am I now gonna go back to the bench? Like, there's no recovering from that. You've broken this man's trust.
Hmm. Kind of not similar, but for some reason, what came to mind was the Eli Manning benching for Geno Smith that one game. It's like you disrespected a veteran because you thought Geno Smith was better. Newsflash, he wasn't. We still lost to that Raider to the Raiders in that game. Um,
Yeah,
but this is
that
a
was a
young,
mishandled situation
yeah.
way before that. Like, the word choice McAdoo and Mara used was wrong. It should have been like, we're not winning. We just want to see what else we have on this roster. If the Giants approach that as we're just trying to see the future, this has nothing to do with Eli Manning, the fan reaction is a sadness that we benched Eli, but it's not the visceral hate that led to McAdoo and Reese being fired 2 days later. I think
Mhm.
it's more of a, okay, we understand what's happening. We don't agree with it, but we get it. We need to win, and we need to see what else we have. If we're going to have this high draft pick in a heavy quarterback class, should we use it on one of them?
Mhm. So yeah, it's just this team is very talent deficient. And if I'm Carolina, if I could go back in time, if I'm Dave Canales, I watch the film and say, look, I know the film looks bad, but I want to keep playing young. Just give him a chance to develop. And the Andy Dalton's are going to make things any better. This team is very bad, even outside of the quarterback position. They're 30th in EPA per play allowed on defense. They're 24th in pass block win rate, and they're 28th in run block win rate. So they can't block to save their damn lives.
No.
The defense lost Derek Brown for the year. He's out on injured reserve. That just begs the question: does this mean quarterback in 2025 in terms of the draft?
Could be.
Could be.
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised if Young gets traded this offseason.
Would you consider us as a consideration?
I would consider it right now. You could go out and trade for Bryce Young at this very moment in time, or by the trade deadline and give him like an actual audition. I would be okay giving up a late round pick for it. In terms of off season, I would kind of just want to stay away with it. Just get the new guy in here. Let's go. Go draft him.
So if you're gonna get him now, let's get him now.
Get him now. Get him now, and let him play with this team in front of him and see what he can do.
Do you think teams are calling the Panthers as we speak?
I think there's definitely a general interest among teams. I don't think it's anything like serious. I think it's like the quote unquote kicking the tires. Like, hey, if we were interested in Bryce Young, what would it cost us? Okay, all right, we'll get back to you on that. Kind of like that. Just kind of like just perusing, like, oh, let's test the waters here. What's going on?
The most I give up is a second.
I don't think I give up a second. I think I give up a third or fourth, but ideally I would want to give up like a fifth.
I just feel like based off his draft position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's taking into account, but like it's also like you're gonna give up like a second round pick on like a plus quarterback. Like I'd rather use that on like a premier position.
Kind of just wait. I feel it. So I guess prediction wise, is Bryce Young gonna be put back this season?
Yeah, Bryce Young will be put back probably like week 8. He'll go back in there.
Okay,
kind of going to be the rest of the season. Every week's going to be like, all right, is it Bryce Young this week or is it Andy Dalton this week? Who knows? And it's just a disaster.
Panthers have a 2% chance to make the playoffs as we speak, and a 0.
They had 2% chance to make the playoffs when the season started.
You son of a gun. And the Panthers have a 0.4% chance to win the NFC South. So, ouch. All righty.
Super Bowl's just like, we'll give you, you know what the national debt is? You win that much money.
All righty, buddy. All right, college football, baby. This is all you, man. Wow, what a bounce back, isn't it, for the Irish?
Yeah. You needed a statement win, and you got one. You're leading 42-0 at halftime and won the game 66-7. You brought in the backups for majority of the second half, and I know it's Purdue. Purdue's not great. They kind of struggled against the run game too, but just the fact to win and like you saw some signs like okay, Ryan Leonard still worries me as a passer, right? There's a few times on Saturday where there were wide open guys down the field and he tucked it and run, but he did show off the athleticism. Pairing him with a Jeremiah Love and a Gerard Pace, like this team could be a really good rushing team, and that could kind of be our identity. We had the defense played well, the backups behind him, like Kenny Urlacher, DeBrusque, they look really good. So a lot of positives on this Notre Dame team. A good step in the right direction and a good bounce back, but there needs to be a lot more for me to be back in 100%. I'm like, gosh, I'm okay. I see it. I need to see more of it.
Okay. Yeah, that run game, you guys, I was reading your article, which, by the way, you guys can check out Brian's article on bellyupsports.com. His debriefing of the week 3 game against Purdue. Great stuff. But yeah, run game was great. Now, look, you guys have an easy game again against Miami, Ohio, but things kind of get...
Illinois, though. Like, there's no easy game now.
Nope. Plus, you guys have New Louisville in 2 weeks.
Concerning.
That's concerning. But definitely, I mean, this...
Going to buy back in, beat Louisville like you beat Purdue, I'm back in.
Okay. Hey.
Back in. I mean, okay, this team can make a run.
You have one job, Irish. Get it
All
done.
Right.
But yeah, running game was great. Defensively, obviously, you guys are outstanding. So I was reading part of your article. So you guys were up 21-0 before the half.
Yeah.
And you said in a blink they were up 42-0.
In 2 minutes, they scored like 3 touchdowns.
Huh?
I don't even know. The worst part is I saw it. It was 21-0. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I came back and it was 42-0. What? Like I was gone for 5 minutes. I did not take that long.
I'm trying to find out because I personally didn't watch the games, and that's on me.
I swear to God, I saw it. It was like a touchdown, a pick six, and like a fumble recovery. It was insane.
Okay, yeah. Ryan Leonard had a 13-yard touchdown run with 2:10 left in the second quarter. Pick six by Boubacar Traore. And then a 70-yard touchdown run by Darian Prince.
Yeah, exactly.
In the span of
you literally see the time marks. 2:10, 1:32, 4
seconds. That's deflating, man. If you're Purdue, it's just like, really?
I think if I was a fan of Purdue, like a student, I'm like, I'm going back to my house and drinking. Like, I'm done with it.
Prevent defense. It's...
no prevent defense. It was, oh boy.
Oh boy, he's gone. But shout out to the Irish, man. Great win. You guys are 2-1 now. Should be 3-1, right? Should be, but should be 4-0. Like, it might be close. We'll see.
Good in horseshoes and grenades.
All right, before we go, buddy, any other takeaways from the college football game? I know Colorado played against Colorado State. I watched a little bit of that.
Yeah, they look fine. Colorado's still a circus. Like, you can't really expect anything from them. Did you see the guy that drove on the field?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, guys. What are we doing? Enough. The football team itself is a big enough of a distraction. Now the fans are getting into it too. Like, Deion's got to do. Like, I know this kind of comes with Deion, but like, there's a lot that's going on. It's just not Deion Sanders related.
Mm-hmm.
That's just making this just an absolute like a good college team besides the Florida Gators can't run like this.
Florida State lost again. Yeah.
DJ Ungalele is a horrific quarterback, and Mike Norvell cannot win without Jordan Travis. That's simple. Norvell should be fired. Why he still has a job is I don't know, but he won't have one next season.
Yeah, and I think game of the week is one of the games of the week on ESPN is Florida State and my California Golden Bears. So hopefully we embarrass the Seminoles as well.
Yeah.
And then the new number 1 team in the nation, Longhorns. Dude, Arch Manning. Holy crap! I don't care if it was against UTSA.
Yeah. It looks good.
I'm just saying, I don't want to, but if we have to, I don't mind waiting.
No. I'm doing this now.
Okay,
We're putting a stop to this right now.
Okay.
And all you Giants fans, I've seen this on Twitter all weekend.
Okay.
Yours of you saying that we should wait 2 seasons for Arch Manning, stupid. For those of you, it's not just you. There's more of them out there. There's also people out there that are saying Bill Belichick is going to come in and fix all the problems. Did you not watch 2022 and 2023? Okay, Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. Love Bill Belichick. 8 Super Bowls, never be touched again. He would be quite possibly the worst decision you can make to bring into this Giants team. The game has passed him by. We're seeing right now we're doing the Patriots, who I kind of forgot about them. Sneaky dark horse team in a playoff hunt. They played a really good game against the Seattle Seahawks, and Gerard Mayo. I said a big part with Gerard Mayo was trying to get the Patriots' way to mesh the new generation. So far, he's done it, I think. So, but yeah, no. Wayne Arch Manning, no. Bill Belichick, no. Dable and draft a quarterback this year, okay? Enough of waiting for a quarterback. Because you know what waiting for a quarterback is?
What?
This year. Again. You really want to do this again? It's not like Kirk Cousins is a free agent, and we've got, okay, we'll sign Kirk and then wait for Arch Manning. There's no big veteran out there that'd be like, okay, maybe that guy was Dak Prescott. Not happening anymore.
There's Russell Wilson.
You don't sit for Russell Wilson for a season. Justin Fields beat him out. I don't want to watch Russell Wilson. All right, if I need somebody, I want someone who's actually going to play well and just not be a stopgap. Daniel Jones is a stopgap right now. No more stopgap guys. This is the future quarterback.
It'll be interesting to see where Arch goes because he does have swagger. He is a Manning with more athleticism than Peyton and Eli combined.
I think you could double Peyton and Eli. Still more. You can clone them both and then combine them all into one quarterback, and Arch is still better.
He just has that it factor about him. He has the little swag thing. He can throw the ball.
It's something we haven't seen from Manning's.
Yeah.
Emotion.
Yeah, because we've known that for so many fudging years, man.
That's the reason why I kind of started to hate Eli Manning. I'm like, just show me you're pissed off.
Just smile, but it's just always
there was a great SNL skit doing Madden, and it's Eli Manning. And it's like, all right, Eli, do your animation just to a touchdown. Interception. You won the Super Bowl. It's he just did that over and over again. I'm like, that's Eli Manning. That's 100% Eli. That's what he does every play. Eli Manning could throw an interception and you wouldn't even know about it. I'm like, please, that's why I liked Daniel Jones so much at first, because when he threw an interception, he slammed his helmet on the ground. I'm like, yes, you're pissed off. That's what I wanted to see. I want to see some emotion, get some fire under these guys.
But yeah, we'll see where Arch Manning goes. I saw a tweet though before we head off. I saw someone say, "Oh yeah, the Panthers should wait for Arch Manning," and someone said, "You'd be crazy to think that the Mannings would let Arch Manning go anywhere near the state of Carolina." I'm just like, oh my god,
he's not wrong. They prevented Eli from going to San Diego. You really think that anything's going to stop him at this point?
Eli Manning Part 2 in this new generation of football. But yeah, that'll wrap things up for this long episode. We talked about the Giants, a lot of stuff about them, obviously, as they fall to 0-2. We'll have the Browns preview later in the week.
Loss. That's your preview. Loss.
We have a
loss.
Yeah, loss. Mark it up, baby.
Commanders. We're like, maybe we can win. Loss.
Deshaun Watson, though. No? Okay. I tried. We'll still preview them.
I'm done. We'll preview them. Got a fun game. That game I teased, we'll play it on Thursday.
Yeah. And then, okay, perfect.
Friday. We'll play Friday.
Friday. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll talk about the rest of the week 3 slate. So Friday, that means the Thursday night game between the Jets and the Patriots will be played. So that could go two ways. It's either going to be a crap show or it's going to be really good. I'm leaning towards the former in terms of the crap show. So, all right, buddy. Well, thank you so much as always. You can find us, you listeners and viewers, if you reach this far to the episode, we appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, etc., and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nate Productions for all that. Plus, follow us on social media. We have gotten that up again recently on Twitter and Instagram at 3rd and 10 Pod. For Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much, and as always, go Giants. And yes, we will not be waiting for Arch Manning. I promise.
No, or Bill Belichick.